Hey friends, welcome to Live Stream Wednesday, coming to you from Walpole, Massachusetts, and streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, and on livestreamwednesday.com. And this week, I'm absolutely delighted to have on the show Lisa Cournoyer Mongeau. Now, Lisa is the owner of Body Soul Inspired Personal Training, which is a unique personal training company that works on the whole you. She is also the host of the Inner Life of Fitness live stream, which broadcasts at noon time Eastern every Tuesday on Facebook, and it's also available on BodySoulLivestream.com. But the thing that I love most about Lisa is the fact that she just has amazing energy and a ton of positiveness. So, Lisa, welcome to the show today.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to be here with you. So tell everybody, how you got started on this journey of being an awesome personal trainer.
Thank you. And I'm not paying you any money for that. Thank you so much. My journey starts when I was young, probably around middle school. I was getting chubby, gaining weight. I always on the outside seemed like, the comedy kid in the classroom. But on the inside, I just didn't feel, I had low self-esteem. I was starting to hang out with the wrong crowd. And I think my mom paid the doctor one day. We went to the doctors and he said, you should pick a sport. And I said, oh, well, being 4'11", I picked basketball. And he just laughed. But that sport changed my life. I started losing weight. I was hanging around other kids that, saw themselves going to college. They were positive. They had good, clean fun. It just totally changed my whole outlook on life. I felt good. So it wasn't necessarily about the sport. It's about changing my path and my direction. And that just always stayed with me. And so, when I went into college, I still was like, what do I want to do? And I remembered wanting to do physical education because it changed my life, but also phys ed teachers in high school, they were like, throw the ball out. And I feel like it was an education, like we needed to teach our children education. So that's how it began.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what about, what's kind of like your philosophy, when you're working with people?
Yeah. So my philosophy in life and with my company, Body Soul, when I was thinking of the name, I wanted to have something that would explain what we work on. So I believe treat people how you want to be treated. And with training, you go to some gyms and I don't even, obviously I have to know my competitors, but I focus on what we do and what we do best. And so when you work with Body Soul, we look at the whole person. You would come to us, we're not just going to throw out, we do have pricing, but you need to see if we're a right fit. So we work on the mind, body, and spirit. And what I mean about that is there's no one way to get you to your goals. So we would sit down, we would go over your health history. We would have to understand, your family history. We would have to see how you move. And then we would have to see personality, like who do you connect with? And that's so important. And I've always say this, whether you choose my company or another company, you're born with this gut instinct. And same thing with picking a doctor. Just because we have a degree doesn't mean we know it all. And so and that's why I started this show, The Inner Life of Fitness. I'm sure that we'll talk about, because I want to give people to listen to their inner voice and to know that, I'm going to this trainer. I tell them I'm doing this push-up hold, but it's hurting my back and they're not listening and they're making me do it. Well, listen to that voice. That's not the right team. So we're here to guide. We're here to inspire. We're not here to tell you, because it's not about us. It's about you. So that's just a little bit. And what I love about our company is we're mobile. So we can come to you, you can come to us. We're also now virtual. And we do 30-minute sessions, 45-minute session, hour sessions. And again, it's not about that hard sale. It's about what's going to work with you. I've had people come in and they're like, well, what do I buy? Well, that's up to you after our assessment. And I've had people where, would I make more money with a 60-minute session? Absolutely. But after my assessment, no, 30 minutes is what you need. I think you would do better with 30 minutes. Let's do that for about 2 weeks. Let's try to wean you off because it's like Nanny McPhee, that movie. It's like we want you to not think you need us, but then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I want us, but we want you to be able to do it on your own. Give you the tools to do it on your own.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. So Lisa, I have a couple pictures of your gym here.
Oh, cool.
Take us through this here.
Yeah, so that's our home studio. We're located at downtown Providence, right out of the Regency Plaza. If you're a Rhode Islander, we're next to the old Civic Center, right off the highway. We're about 4,000 square feet. We have showers. We do offer a membership. It's a boutique membership. We only allow a limited amount of members. We're a functional gym, so we want to teach people how to move daily. We train from 95-year-olds, 96-year-olds down to student athletes. We have D1 athletes. We have a child who started with us at age 13 who's now going pro. And your everyday functional person to feel better. So right now you can see we have the yellow tape. That's for COVID restrictions. Members have to wear their mask. When we train, we wear our mask. We disinfect after our sessions and before. So it's a very safe, and you can see behind me, those are our Best of Rhode Island signs. We got 6 years, very excited. And, we're hoping for 7. So, RhodeIslandMonthly.com, Best of Rhode Island, vote for Body Soul. Help me with 7.
Awesome, awesome. Good plug there. I love it.
Yeah, thanks.
So what's like the most rewarding part of what you do, of your coaching and stuff? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Great question. This is what I try to teach my daughter too. You want to do something in life. Oh my gosh, look at my hair. You want to do something in life that you're happy.
I love that. Look at my hair.
Look at my hair. This is like, oh. No, just kidding.
All right, back to it. Yeah.
Back to me. So you want to do something in life that makes you happy. And what I tell, for me, obviously you have to make money to put food on your table. But imagine going into work and you don't love what you do. I love what I do. I've been in this field for 30 years. And the one thing that never gets old with me, and my clients sometimes laugh because, we'll do our measurements again. We'll do our assessments. Maybe they're hamstring, they're getting a little bit more mobility. Or I'll hear people say, I can play with my grandchildren better. I can get down on the floor, back up. And I'm just like, that's it. The most rewarding part is to help people. When they say, oh, I feel better in my clothes. I feel younger. I feel happier. That never gets old. That's probably the best part of my job, is to help impact people's lives positively through health and fitness. And I just feel like, I'm doing my job, using my gifts from God, to give back, to help people. So
that's awesome. That's really amazing. And you know what? I've known you for a while, and that definitely comes through. And it's something that I really appreciate about you as well.
Thank you.
So talk to me about working with student athletes.
Yeah, we work with high school athletes, whether you're playing, we work with fencers, we've worked with rowers, we've worked with track, cross country, hockey players, basketball, D1 volleyball, you name it. And it's a personalized program. We had one in particular that I'll have on my show down the road, Inner Life of Fitness, where we'll interview. He started with us at age 13. Now, he was born with a gift, and his mom saw that. So he's been in training program. Now he's already recruited. He's going to the pros for hockey. But back then, he was going to these hockey camps, but he was training with us in his off season. So every weekend he would go to these hockey camps, or sometimes a week or 2 weeks long. And they couldn't believe how much better he was moving, how much easier he was moving. So it's kind of like, I'm going to give a positive plug to Tom Brady. I am a Patriots fan. And I do like Tampa Bay a little bit, but I'm still a Patriots fan. But the reason that Tom Brady's able to sustain his age and play in the NFL is because he trains smarter. Yeah. So we teach our athletes to train smarter, not harder. You need to be pliable. You need to be like, what is good about gaining strength training when you can't move? So it's all about preventative injury, right? It's all about listening to your body. And a lot of times, and that was the inspiration for me too, when I played college ball, and when I got out, I was like, well, what do I do now? To give these kids the tools. It's the same thing. Just because you have a coach telling you what to do, if it doesn't feel right and feel wrong, maybe you need to go to a different coach. Maybe you need to go to a different college. Build your inner circle, right? Build your circle that's going to give you the best results for you for long term.
Right.
So that's what we do with I'm excited about that, because we teach these kids young, and those skills they can take with them as they're not playing sports anymore. They use the same philosophy, but it just changes what their goals are.
Yeah, and it's so important too. So I'm a little bit older than you are, but
No.
Yeah. When I was born, there were only 48 states, but that's a story for another time. But
that's hilarious.
But I know, I've always been, I've been working out for a really, really long time, for over 50 years. So so I really understand that. And I think what people really miss is that the better job you do taking care of yourself, your body, right, and your inner self too, because I know you're all about that too. It's not just about the physical stuff. It's also about, what's in here and your being and your well-being.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. But the sooner you pay attention to that, and the sooner you kind of put your, this is my philosophy, the sooner you put the fact that if you take care of yourself first, then you can do a much job of taking care of everybody else.
Absolutely.
And as soon as you put that ahead of everything and you start doing that, then your life gets better. And when you get older, things get easier to do. I'm happy to say that I still get out and do interval trainings on my bike 5 days a week, right?
Nice.
And so there are people who are my age who can barely walk, right? So
absolutely,
you know that, and everybody comes from different circumstances. The point being is that the more control you take of your physical and your mental well-being, the better off you're going to be when you get older. Correct?
Yeah. And the thing is too, when you're younger, you don't feel it. When you get older, so that's why we're so excited that we work with these young athletes, because we're giving them stuff, to stretch more, to drink more water, nutritionally, what you put in your body, when that way, when you said you get older and it's easier, well, it's easier for you because you've done it.
Right.
And you are obviously follow that philosophy. And the other thing is too, is as you get older, sometimes life may happen. Life always happens.
Yeah.
Change is the only thing we can count on in life. And how to deal with it. Why not take care of your mind, body, and spirit? I mean, there may be a day, like example, I qualified to go pro. I was an Ironman triathlete.
Whoa.
I was actually going to compete and try out for the first the Olympics, the tries in the Olympics when they were having it in Greece. Long story short, I ended up falling in love, having a child, so I changed my path. But so I ran a lot, I swam a lot, and now, I'm going to be 50, I can't run like I used to. And that could be devastating, especially if you're used to running a certain amount of mileage. So it's not so much devastating because what my philosophy is. I feel I need to be the example, so I have to change up my program. And I have to find what makes me happy. So for me, running released these happy pills for me. It was more of a mental release. Right. So you need to have those tools. And again, that's what Body Soul tries to do for our clients is let's just give you tools in your toolbox. Oh, okay. I have clients come in, I have a program for them. They come in based on how they're walking, because we're always looking on their gait. We're always looking what their energy level is, what they might need. And I'll completely change up the program that day based on we have to have a dialogue. We have to have good communication. I'll be like, hey, so what's going on? How was your week? What's new? How's your body feeling? And after a while, you get to get that vibe and I have a lot of clients. Yeah.
And that's awesome. And I'm not sure everybody does that, but the fact that you do it is one of the things I really admire about your program. So, all right. So let's talk about kind of the elephant in the room here. So what about for the folks who are
There's an elephant in my room?
Well, it's in my room, but.
Oh, okay.
So what about the folks who are older but haven't done it, haven't started to work out or never did it? So talk to us a little bit about that, because I know that's something you work with.
Yeah, the hardest thing in life is to get out of our own way. With anything, the hardest thing in our life is to get out of our own way. If not now, when? You want to feel better until the day that we close our eyes and we are no longer here on our earth is the day that you can say, I shouldn't do it. But it's hard. So if you're not sure or you're afraid, and I've heard this line before, I'm going to call you once I get in a little better shape. Why not go to a professional that's going to help put a program together to help you? And a lot of times people think, I have to go to the gym and be in there for an hour in order to get the results. Go to a professional if you're not sure, but don't be afraid to start. You want to move better, you want to breathe better. It doesn't matter. I mean, I have 90-year-old clients. I have a woman who started in her 60s, and she beats on herself a little bit and says, well, why didn't I? You can't look at the past. The past is a past. We learn from it, right? Then you got to let that go one day at a time, and you plan for the future. So we do short-term goals, long-term goals. And I always tell people, you can't get to the island without paddling. All right. If you figure that way out, you let me know, and then I'll market that. Right. It's like, boom, I'm there at the island. No. There's no easy pill. You have to do the work. And then you feel better. I mean, the hardest part is getting started. The hardest part. But once you're in motion, once you have a plan, once you feel like, oh, okay, I'm a visual person, so I have a learning disability and I have a high IQ with visual, right? And for me, reading doesn't work. So we'll send people videos, we'll video either ourselves or them, if that's how you learn. There's always different ways of how people process. And I have some people who need it on paper, so we'll send them on paper. So that would be my advice: is don't be afraid to start. You want to feel better? No one else can make that happen. Nobody, no one else is going to do it. And if you have any toxicity, you also need to surround yourself with people who support you, who lift you up. Because I've seen that, all of a sudden, let's say it's a husband and wife or a girlfriend and girlfriend, boyfriend and boyfriend, and then you have one spouse who's doing better and the other spouse is like, oh no, I'm going to lose them. And then they're being toxic. You want to navigate through that. I'm not saying let them go, trust me. But I'm saying is you need to be aware of your surroundings. You want to be in an environment that's going to be healthy and support you as friends, family as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to go back to something you just said about, putting the work in. So it's just like anything else. You have to practice to get better, and that's akin to like learning a hobby or something, like my wife is a quilter, so learning how to quilt or just sew, or learning how to play an instrument, right? All those things, it's trial and error. It's practice, and working out, and getting fit and getting healthy and bringing yourself even to just the next level, right? It's all about putting the time and effort in.
Absolutely. It's taking the steps, right? Just those steps. And again, that's the best way to say it is like, you know where you want to go. Well, you also just have to process on one day at a time. And sometimes it's as easy as just changing up your nutrition. So, every 7 years, our body changes. All right. So, men, you guys have menopause. We have women menopause, right? You like that one? You guys do have menopause. You do get cranky when you get older. But
especially if I haven't had lunch.
Yeah, you get a little hangry. So there's hormone changes, there's chemical imbalances, and then there's allergies, and then the world, because of global warming. Unfortunately, we all need to do our part to prevent that and help that. But what we put in our body, what you ate in your 20s, you can't eat today. What you ate in your 30s. And so you need to be aware of that too, because there are people who say, well, I've been going to the gym. And for some people, their goal is, well, I want to get rid of this midsection. I'm in my 50s and 60s, and I've never had this midsection. What is this? Well, you can change it, but it's going to come down to what you're eating. And I hate the word diet because it's a lifestyle change.
Right.
So food, water, even breathing. Let's just do a quick breathing tip. Majority of the people in this world do not breathe right. And what does that mean? So we should be breathing in and out of our nose, not our mouth. It's the most filtered. It gets into our body cleaner. And you want to keep it all the way through that body, because a lot of times people just breathe within that chest.
Right.
So think about driving your car without gas and no oil, right? So what's going to happen? It's not functioning. It's not functioning. You can only go so far. What's the difference with our human body, right? So if you're not fueling it, you're not drinking water, and you're not breathing, which helps de-stress your body, that alone could change up your metabolism and have you make those results you're looking for. Because people sometimes will go to the gym and they're like, oh, I go to the gym 5 days a week. I'm in there for an hour. I'm not losing weight. Okay, so let's break it down. Tell me, what are you eating during the day? And
yeah, it's all those Twinkies you're having after the gym, right?
Or for some people, it's the carbs, like no carbs at night. Well, what's a carb? There's carbs in everything. There's carbs in fruit. So when we say no carbs, it's the breads, it's the pastas. Maybe sometimes not eating after 6. Or doing no carbs at night. That doesn't have to be big drastic changes.
Yep.
Yeah.
In my house, we have the 7 o'clock rule, right? No eating after 7 o'clock. So,
yeah. And then you wake up and, I tell people another free tip that I'll put out there is first thing you should do when you wake up and this little concoction is you should at least have 6 ounces of room temperature water, right? I add to that a tablespoon of Bragg's apple cider vinegar. I put a tablespoon of fresh lemon. And then I got the lemon, and then the water. Oh, an organic cranberry, just 2 ounces of organic.
Yep.
And I do that every morning, 30 minutes before I eat. Just kind of gets the body going.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to go back to the replay and write all this down. So.
Yeah, awesome, good. Yeah,
good stuff. I can't believe the time has just flown by. But before we jump out here, I want you to talk about your live stream, the Inner Life of Fitness live stream. So tell us a little bit about. What inspired you to do that and where you're going with it?
So it's called the Inner Life of Fitness, where we share stories to inspire you to help ignite your inner and outer strength. It's every Tuesday at 12 o'clock. We get guests on the show that I have worked with over my 30 years, or people that I have come into, they've come across my life that have been inspiring, and how, health, mind, body, and spirit has changed their life. So you can go on to my bodysoullivestream.com. You can check out some of the shows we've done already. And what inspired that for me is, I've been in this business over 30 years. And you asked me a question earlier, about what I like most about what I do. And along the way, I have just met some amazing people that I feel it'll help someone else say, you know what, I can do this. If they can do it, they were 70, they were 80, or maybe they had a disability. Like we interviewed a woman yesterday with spinal muscular atrophy. Even though you might be in a wheelchair, you can still be fit. So I just felt being that positive pebble in the water to start telling those stories. So that's what inspired it. And I'm just very excited for that. And
yeah, awesome. And so I've been helping Lisa with that behind the scenes.
I wanted to give you a plug. I wanted to say thank you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But it's a blessing for me because the guests you've had on are just unbelievable, and you are a phenomenal host too. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that with me. So Lisa, tell people, I'm going to put up your website. But tell people how they get in touch with you, and I'm sure people have questions. They're going to want to know more. So
absolutely,
tell us about that.
Yes. So I'm glad you mentioned it. I wanted to say thank you. Ed and Patricia Raskin made a dream come true for me, and that's the other thing too, right? If not now, when? I'm going to be 50 is something I've always wanted to do. I was afraid. And you guys made that happen, and it's just so cool. So you're awesome. Thank you. And thank you for having me on today.
Honored to be a part of it, and thank you for being here. Yeah. You make the show. So
I have clients tell me, and I'll say, well, how the people are gonna. They said, "Oh, how do you get the pictures up there? How do you do that?" I was like, "Hey, Ed McDonough from EC Marketing Services." Oh, yeah, he makes me look good.
Thank you. So I'm gonna put up. I'm going to put up your email address, okay?
Yep. Great. Yeah. So people, they can reach on out. If they mention this show, we'll give them a free session on us. So you can email me, Lisa at bodysoultraining.com. They can go to my website, bodysoultraining.com, or they can check out our live stream. at bodysoullivestream.com. We love what we do, and come give us come check us out. See if we're the right fit for you.
Awesome. Well, Lisa, it's been fabulous having you on the show today. I'm going to send you backstage. I'll catch up with you in a minute. Just say goodbye to everybody. So thank you so much for tuning in today. It's been great to have you here. And if you have any questions whatsoever, get in touch with me or get in touch with Lisa and get those questions answered. So again, thanks for tuning in today. One more thing before I go. Would you like to be interviewed on Livestream Wednesday? Visit livestreamwednesday.com. Click the green Leave a Voicemail Here button and record and leave me a voice message, and someone from my team will get back to you within 2 business days. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week right here on Live Stream Wednesday. Bye for now.